Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 20th expansion-packed episode of the Switch It Up Show. I am your host this time. I am, of course, at Seth Trav, joined as always by our friend Glenn. He is at From the Crib. And, buddy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, sir. I'm digging your energy, your vibe. I think it's rubbing off on me.
Tell me about that itch you got, Mamba Dude.
Oh, my friend, you know there's only one thing I am plagued by, and that is the itch for the Switch.
Ah, you got to know all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a stocked show for you today. We got two great games that are coming out tomorrow. That's going to be October the 10th, 2017. We are on the pulse right now of the Nintendo Switch community, getting ready to bring you the best, brightest, all the hot new features. But first, we got to let those tunes ride. Anamanaguchi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for providing us with those tender tones. But now we're going to dig around our satchels, see what's going on in our inventory. It's what we're playing this week. And my dude, looks to me like you're playing a little something off Switch.
I am, man.
Week.
I gotta make a confession. You know, I have been getting myself into a little bit of non-Switch gaming lately, and to be quite honest, there were just so many releases. There was just so much that came out, like in the last couple of weeks on the Switch. That, like I suffered from a little bit of overload. So last week, with the very little bit of free time that I had, aside from playing what we're going to be talking about in our review segment coming up a little bit later, I got myself into a little bit of Destiny 2 on PlayStation 4. I'm having a super good time with it. We have a lot of people like that we know, a lot of mutual friends that are over on the PS4, and I just really wish more people had, you know, a chance to get their hands on a Switch, which, you know, maybe we'll be talking about that a little bit more in our next upcoming segment.
Oh, sounds like we got some foreshadowing there, my dude.
A little bit.
Meanwhile, me, I unfortunately, I've also not really been playing the Switch this week. That's because I got my SNES Mini back from my girlfriend, and yes. I have yet to finish Mario RPG. Back in the day, I did a ROM for it on the I don't remember what it was called, the SNES emulator.
Oh, like like SNES 9X or whatever.
Yeah, you know the one.
Yeah.
You know the one.
Or so
We're so told. So I read on the internet, on that dark web. So I think I was bamboozled on the ROM I downloaded because it crashed every single time.
That's what you get.
Like when you got the second to last star, it just crashed. So I needed to get one more star, and then I was going to fight the boss. And I've never beaten it, so I'm working my way through that right now.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What do you think of the SNES Classic?
Oh, dude, I actually love it. I think it's really cool. I think they definitely could have used some more games. Currently, there are a ton of mods coming out for it, and I think they're only going to get better as time goes on. So I'm waiting to possibly tool around with that idea.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. Getting a little shady. Ladies and gentlemen, though, I do want to let everybody know a little bit of info for you. We are going to be doing a playthrough of the SNES Classic Turtles in Time with our good YouTube friend Kurgez. Be sure to check us out on our YouTube. We're going to have a full playthrough of that coming up this week.
Awesome, man. And speaking of, if people want a little bit more of the SNES Mini, I do believe you filmed a little video about it.
I did an unboxing video where I drop it. Be sure to head over, check out Preach Unboxing. If you search that on YouTube, you will definitely find us. And be sure to hit subscribe, because we are going to continually be bringing out awesome stuff for you. I know the new South Park game is coming out this weekend. We're going to be playing that on Sunday. And, of course, I am doing a playthrough of the first South Park game right now as well.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Love
and
it.
Iron Banner. It's Iron Banner. We might throw an Iron Banner or two up there.
Yeah, definitely. A little Destiny. We'll give you a little bit of everything. Of course, Switch stuff coming up very, very shortly.
Yes. Speaking of Switch stuff,
ooh,
and stuff coming up, it's time for Potent Power-Ups. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's the news segment. We're going to see what we want to hit on to power ourselves up, see what news is hot, see what's going on. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we got big news. As our friend Glenn alluded to, the Nintendo Switch production has increased. More coming out to us in the very near future. Hopefully by the holiday season, everybody who wants one is gonna get one.
Yeah, it seems like just about everywhere I turn, like these are starting to show up in stock. Amazon has had them in stock for days, which they never used to have them before. They don't have I haven't seen the neon one in stock, but I've seen the gray one in stock for a while, which is the model that I ended up getting my hands on.
I did want a neon one myself.
Yeah.
I did wind up with the gray. I figure I'm gonna buy new Joy-Cons at some point when they come out with like NES retro ones or GameCube looking ones, because I think there's enough out there that maybe a third party will get to it as well. Look for that in later news segments, hopefully. The stock is at an all-time high because of all of this, because of the SNES, because of even Pokemon Go is still pulling it out. The Switch just selling like hotcakes. It's doing super well right now, and I think that's great. Nintendo definitely on the rise. Another bit of information I wanted to definitely share with the community right now. Do not buy SNES Classics or SNES or NES Classics from eBay or resellers or anybody trying to hit you up for more money on that stuff. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they are putting more out. They're going to consistently keep putting out these great, awesome, classic retro systems that we know and love and have just been dying to get our hands on, so much so that we were going to pay way overpriced for them. Don't do it anymore. They're helping us out. Nintendo finally has picked up the ball. They're running with it, and they're giving us exactly what we want.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's awesome that they're really kind of doubled down on that production, both of the Switch and of the SNES Classic. Because trying to pay those outrageous prices is just it's not fair, man. And that's not fair. And everybody loses. The customer loses because you end up kind of paying way over what it's actually valued at, and then Nintendo loses because they don't get those sales. So it's bad all around. So it's good to see that slowly turning the tide.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, that sound can only mean that it is time to press continue. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our coins ready, and we've got it because there's all kinds of new releases coming out this week on the Nintendo Switch. Not as much as last week.
Oh, no, sir.
It is a ton. It is a metric ton of games again this week, ladies and gentlemen. First one up is going to be a little game called 88 Heroes, 98 Heroes Edition. It is called. It's 8:08 a.m. on August 8th, 1988, and the evil Dr. 8 has brought the world to the brink of total annihilation. His demands are simple. Pay 88 octillion within 88 minutes, or Dr. 8's 88 thermonuclear warheads will wipe out the Earth. But who will save us in our time of need? The bravest? The boldest? No. The 88 heroes, plus 10 of their friends. So, it is a platform-hopping, enemy-smashing, danger-dodging mission to save Earth from complete destruction. And it seems like they, for some reason, love 88.
It looks. I'm looking over here at the different screenshots. It looks really cool. It looks like you get to play with like 88 different heroes, so to speak. The graphics look really retro. One of them is a basketball player. Another one kind of looks like Ken from Street Fighter. Then there's another one that's a snake.
It looks kind of like Conan O'Brien. It looks kind of like Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, man. I think
it is
cool.
$29.95, coming out October 10th, 2017.
Word on the street is we're actually going to get a chance to try that one out. So you very well might.
Dude, I'm stoked.
Yeah, man. You very well might see that on an upcoming episode. Coming out this week, I'm going to go ahead and throw another one out there that I think we're going to get to try, and that is Yono and the Celestial Elephants.
Ooh.
Ready your trunk. It is time for an adventure. Elephants are the mighty protectors of the world, born from the stars once per millennium. This is the age of elephant Yono, but Yono is still so very young in a kingdom inhabited by feudal humans, undead bone weights, and the robotic Menkai. It is not easy to keep one's trunk out of trouble. Yono and the Celestial Elephants is a grand adventure featuring carefully designed levels, treasure hunts, a sprinkling combat, and a world full of people. Play as a young elephant tasked was to save a world he's never seen before and explore the rich history of a kingdom where humans, zombies, and robots live side by side.
Naturally.
Yes, of course.
As you do.
This looks whimsical is the word I'm going to use to describe this. It looks like a little bit like it's like a 3D platformer. It actually has the same type of perspective as Oceanhorn does, where you're kind of like looking like top down. Well, not really top down.
That kind of Spyro camera.
Yeah, it looks cool, and the graphics are adorable. This game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope we get to try it out. It is Yono and the Celestial Elephants, $14.99, coming out on the 12th.
Beautiful.
Couple days.
Next one up, game we're going to be reviewing a little bit later on, ladies and gentlemen, so I don't want to give you too much about it. It is Tiny Barbarian DX. It is a awesome side-scrolling platformer. Again, don't want to get too much into it yet because we're going to review that in the next segment. It is $29.99, coming out October 10th, tomorrow.
Awesome, man. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and talk about another one coming out on October 12th, and that's going to be Wolverblade. This thing looks so cool. Defend the North. Help Britannia defeat the Romans in Wolverblade, a hardcore side-scrolling beat-em-up inspired by old arcade classics. We actually, I believe, talked about this on a previous episode, but it looks as though it was actually pushed back, and it's rescheduled for coming out this week. It is kind of like a cartoon, like hand-drawn style animation. Looks kind of gory, and it looks like a lot of fun. It's kind of just like those old school like side-scrolling beat 'em ups, but with some great graphics. It looks cool. Hopefully it supports. It looks like it supports multiplayer as well, because this one would be a lot of fun to play with. It looks like one of those things you would kind of just play with your friends. You were talking about playing through Turtles in Time over on what was it, YouTube?
Yes.
So this looks up very much like in that same type of vein of Turtles in Time, and that is
that.
Yeah, man, me too. That's Wolverblade, $19.99, coming out on October the 12th.
Beautiful. Next one up, also coming out on October 12th, is The Flame in the Flood Complete Edition. The Flame in the Flood Complete Edition is a wilderness survival game in which a girl and her dog travel on foot and raft down a procedurally generated river. Scrounge for resources, craft tools, remedy afflictions, evade the vicious wildlife, and most importantly, stay healthy in a dangerous wilderness. The complete edition includes various gameplay enhancements and a director's commentary mode. Ooh, that sounds awesome.
That does sound cool.
The Flame in the Flood also features an original soundtrack by acclaimed alt-country rocker Chuck Reagan, featuring the Camaraderie, The Fearless Kin, and other special guests. I'm not a country fan,
no,
but the game is $14.99, coming out October 12th. This game actually sounds pretty awesome. It sounds like a updated version of the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and I love the procedural generated thing is like a trend recently. It seems like a lot of games are doing that, but it's neat because then anytime you play it, it's never really the same. And this one, it seems like it has a real soundtrack by an actual artist, like a musical artist. So usually we have like other type of like maybe like electronic artists or classical, but like this is like a singer, so that should be interesting. Yeah, not really quite. I'm not a big country person either, but this game looks fun, and it looks like it might fit the setting.
It looks like it's a lot of fun. It looks like you're kind of doing that country downriver thing. I'm just thinking of that scene in Rocko's Modern Life when he's doing the row machine in the gym.
Yeah.
The city boy stinking up Paul River.
I love that cartoon.
Yeah.
And then lastly, man, we only got one other game, and it's actually one we're going to be talking about over in our next segment, and that is Touhou Kobuto 5 Burst Battle. It is almost like it's a third-person fighting game in the anime style. Super fast-moving. Again, going to be talking about it in just a few short moments. So
let's roll right into it, my dude. How about you hit the music and you can just roll right in?
That sounds lovely, sir. So this segment right here is what we like to call our Let's Play. It's basically where we go through and review a title. Sometimes we share the title together, other times we take one game on our own. And the first game that I'm actually going to be talking about this week is Touhou Kobuto 5 Burst Battle. It is $29.99 over on the Nintendo eShop. And first of all, I gotta hand it to this company, NIS America. They've brought you a million different types of like RPGs and anime style games. But not only is this $29.99 on the app on the Nintendo eShop, you can actually pick up a physical copy of it as well. So I love when a company go ahead and like gives you the choice to be able to pick up one or the other. So
you love your physical touch.
I do.
Your physical contact.
I do. The physical contact is a great series of games.
I like you love that physical contact, man.
Jump into the world of Touhou and unleash a bullet hell upon your enemies in the 1v1 shoot 'em up Touhou Kobuto V5 Burst Battle. Touhou Kobuto 5 Burst Battle is a bullet hell battle game that takes place in the Touhou universe. Take control of one of 9 Touhou characters and eliminate your opponent using bullet hell patterns, melee attacks, or spell cards. And that is all they give you in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you a little bit of the details itself. Now, Mr. Trav, have you ever, I need you to kind of go back into the memory banks of little Mr. Trav and see if you ever played Sonic the Fighters.
Yeah, dude.
So Sonic the Fighters was a game on Sega Saturn where and it was also on like the Sonic Mega Collection where you were basically
Sonic Gems Collection.
Yeah. Where you were basically either like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, or like a bunch of other characters. But you
Metal Sonic.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch. But basically, it was a third-person fighting game. The camera was like kind of raised up and behind Sonic or whoever you were controlling, and it's the same type of perspective that you have in this game. The camera kind of follows your characters around as you're doing battle. There's both there's a head-to-head, there's an arcade, and there's a story mode. So there's a bunch of different games, a bunch of different modes that you can play, and there's also like a multiplayer as well. Each character has their own unique story, which is cool. So you get like a bunch of little versions of kind of like the main story as you're playing it. Not every single one is the same. And each one also has their own soundtrack. So music is like really cool and really intense in this game. If you like J-pop and like Japanese like pop music, this thing is gonna be right up your alley. The music is really intense at points, but you know what? I like that. Kind of makes you like set the scene of the game, let you know exactly where you are. It's also, this game's coming out on a bunch of different platforms, and it's PlayStation VR compatible. Playing this game in virtual reality would be insane, but I think it would be a lot of fun. The big thing with this game is it moves very, very quickly. And if you haven't played Sonic the Fighters, basically, once you choose your character, you go through into like a battle arena, a la like Virtual Fighter, and you're basically, it's just you and whoever else, whatever other character you're fighting against. And you have a regular like melee attack that you can do more of like a quick one or a really powerful one. You have a distance attack where you get to kind of throw some type of projectiles, and then you also have like a magic card, which is almost like your super, like in Street Fighter, where you can cast like this really intense spell. And the game is kind of like a balance between like speed, how much energy or stamina you have, because if you don't have enough energy, you won't be able to use some of the more advanced spells or pull off some of the same moves. And when you dodge, you can kind of like sprint forward, you can jump, or you can jump really high and up into the air. And when I say like really high, like maybe you get the perspective that you're jumping like 4 stories up in the air, and you can attack from up there as well. So you're using the left stick to kind of move around, like the buttons over on the right to attack and to jump, and then you're also using the right stick to rotate the camera. So if you get really, really quick at this game, like it can kind of look like really intense when you're playing it, because you're jumping, you're running around, you're sprinting, you're spinning the camera and the character around to like maybe do like a 360. Then you can throw some distance attacks. You can tap the L1 button and you'll immediately drop down from like up in the clouds right down to the ground, and you can like ambush your whoever you're fighting. It moves really quick, and it wants to be played quick, because as you start to progress through the story, some of the stuff that the characters pull off is kind of crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how are they doing this? Luckily they build once you hit pause, there's actually an instruction manual in the game that will go through and kind of tell you what all the combos are. Because in addition to being able to pull off just the regular moves, there's all types of like special combos that you can do. Just like in Street Fighter, how like Blanca's got like his close attack, his distance attack, and then he's got like the like the special one that like shocks his lightning, or like he grabs you and he bites you. You have all those type of like special attacks here in this game. And there's not like a bunch of them, but let's say maybe there's 4 or 5 for each different attack. So maybe like there's 4 quick ones, 4 power ones, 4 like special ones. Like there's a bunch. So if you want to kind of play at more of a casual level, you can kind of just stick to like that button mashing style. And if you're quick enough and you're jumping around and taking full advantage of the 360 degrees of combat, you might be able to get by. But as you get on in the game, I feel like I found myself stopping to check and see what some of these combos were, because if I didn't, I was kind of going to be left in the dust. But that being said, I really enjoy the atmosphere. The music is a ton of fun, and the game is fast paced, which I do like. Personally, as like a fighting game, I haven't really played a fighting game like this before. I really liked having like the whole like atmosphere, being able to jump up in the air and like pull the camera down and like attack. It seemed like I was playing like a whole different type of game. I haven't played like a fighting game like that before. But it does add a little degree of difficulty, and it actually becomes more of a necessity as you play more and more. That being said, I had a really good time with this game, although I do think it's something that you would have to kind of like invest in if you wanted to get really good at it and progress through the story at like a far like, you know, distance. Not to mention there's a whole bunch of characters. I believe it was 9 that you can play as, so a lot going on there. That being said, for a fighting game, I had a good time with this. I'm gonna give this a solid 4. It was fun.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. But it's you know, if fighting games are your thing and you really like the whole like anime setting that it has, then you're gonna love this game hands down. And you'll definitely have a good time with the jumping mechanic. I thought that made the game for me. That and the soundtrack. So if you want to go ahead and check this game out, it is Touhou Kobuto Burst Battle 5. It comes out October 10th. If you're listening to it, it is today over in the Nintendo eShop, $29.99, or you can actually buy the physical copy as well. It's awesome,
dude.
Just check it out.
Right there.
What about you, sir? I believe you got something for us as well.
I do, actually. So I got to play the awesome side-scrolling sort of beat-em-up Tiny Barbarian DX. This is an awesome game, as we said earlier. It is coming out October 10th, 2017 on the Nintendo eShop. It's going to be $29.99. Muscles ready to flex. It's Tiny Barbarian DX. Steel yourself for a relentless display of might and muscle, of brawn and bravery, of magic and mayhem. Can you cleave your enemies' skulls, plunder all the booty, and flex to impress the Barbarian of your dreams? I like that. I didn't know that was a term. Inspired by heroic fantasy fiction, Tiny Barbarian DX combines engaging 2D platform action and combo-based hack-and-slash combat with retro-style pixel art and a loincloth-stirring chiptune soundtrack. Dude, I had a lot of fun with this game.
It looks like a lot of fun.
You can play it 2-player. It does play, I want to say, a lot like... It's hard to think of what this really compares to. I want to say maybe the original Prince of Persia. It looks a lot like that, like the same exact kind of style. Like I'm talking back on like the Apple II.
Oh wow,
Prince of Persia. Yeah, like that style. Like it's sort of fluid like that, the way the character moves. The music is very, very spot on. The game is a good time. I only played it with one person. You can do it with 2 though. Didn't get a chance to try that out, which is awesome because you can, you know, unhook the Joy-Cons and then you got your second player right there. You're ready to play on the go, ready to move. There is standard story mode where it's very linear. Again, it's kind of like Prince of Persia, or I would say Ghosts and Goblins.
Love Ghosts and
Goblins. Or Castlevania a little bit too, where it'll show you the whole map and then you're just kind of moving along this linear path. But then things break apart. You see more of the map. You get to have more fun. The story is a little light. It's very just like, hey, you're walking, you see this Barbarina, and you gotta help save her from this monster-looking dude who gives you one of those classic like ha 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 laughs, and that's it. You just go. You're just fighting things, and it's cool. But it is a little frustrating at times. A lot of the time, you can just like break open like parts of walls, and they don't go anywhere or do anything. And I'm like, what was the point of that? It was a little difficult to get some of the buttons to work. I had an easier time using the D-pad than I did the thumbstick, just because for some reason I was having a lot of errors using the thumbstick where I was accidentally using your down attack, which is a flying elbow drop, which awesome. Love that. You can taunt your enemies at any point in time. If you just press down, you'll just stand there and flex. I don't know if there was any point to that. I feel like at some point there's got to be a spot where you can just flex and something will happen for you. That being said, it was a lot of fun, but it did have some frustrations. Graphically, love it, fluid, very much like Prince of Persia or Castlevania, like the earlier ones. Music, spot on. That chiptune, great time. And they were different. They were very different for each level, and the level design was fairly unique and interesting. But again, parts of it were frustrating in a way that they shouldn't have been, especially with, like, I'm trying to grab a rope to climb up, or I have to drop down and grab a rope. I'm constantly pressing up multiple times, and it just will not catch on that rope.
Oh.
Very frustrating. And like I said, you had to kind of switch up to the D-pad. Otherwise, it seemed a little too sensitive. And I, for some reason, couldn't find a way to turn off the rumble feature. I don't know what it is. I don't like it rumbling anymore. I'm a battery snob. So I'm like, let me save my battery any way I can.
I actually had the same issue on my game as well. The rumble was so intense. Like, you know, Nintendo was like, "Oh, HD rumble," but it was so intense that I'm like, I gotta shut this off.
Yeah, I like shutting the rumble off on everything anymore. I don't know. I had my fun with it back when I had a rumble pack, and overall, it's just like intense, and I feel like I'm messing up my system a little bit doing that. All that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 5. I would definitely pick it up if you love these kinds of games. It's fun. There's a mode in there. I think it was called the Mountain or something like that. When you initially start the game, you start in that mode of play, and you're literally at the top of a mountain, and enemies just keep coming out. And it's just like, hey, see how long you can last. I made it to a minute and some change. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to just kind of like pick that up and slash at some dudes. So 4 out of 5 for Tiny Barbarian.
Barbarian, yeah, that's cool. That's good.
Yeah, man. Tiny Barbarian DX, $29.99. Comes out today, Tuesday, October 10th. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's been the 20th episode. It's been the Switch It Up Show. I have been your host, Seth Trapp. He has been our friend, Glenn. He's at From the Crib. Be sure to check him out all month long because it is his season. If you love horror at all, especially gateway horror for your young ones, check him out at From the Crib. Give him some sweet love. And be sure to let us know what you love over on our YouTube page. Watch, because we're going to be playing Turtles in Time with our good friend Kurgez. And be sure to check us out at Switch It Up Show and at Basic Boy Gaming. All over the place. Subscribe. Hit us up at Preachcast. Again, I'm Seth Trav. It's been episode 20. And if things ever get boring, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you can always switch it up.